We know that there's many other parents out there who experience many of the same struggles, many students who experience the same struggles, help many coaches and instructors who go through all of these struggles, but they don't know. Hey, what's going on, everyone? And thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of Off the Mat. My name is Josh Dumlin, and I am joined by my co-host,
Nicole Stratichuk.
Awesome. And are you nervous a little bit?
I'm very nervous. Yeah, it's interesting how nervous I am because I spend a lot of my time in front of people, talking to people, and then I get in front of a camera and very, very nervous to be doing this. So hopefully you guys can all bear with me, and hopefully you as my co-host can bear with me as well.
Oh, I'm sure we'll do just fine. So anyway, again, welcome to the first episode of Off the Mat. Our goal here with this podcast is to share with you guys lessons we have learned, experiences we have had of martial arts instruction over the last, for myself, 15 years, the last 30 years of doing Taekwondo, and offer some different perspectives as a coach and how we can help you as a parent or maybe an athlete or maybe even a coach yourself, how we're going to be able to share some of the stuff and experiences we've had to be able to hopefully give you guys a perspective of how to better yourselves. So, of course, because if you are listening to this and you don't actively train with us, you're not going to know who we are. So we're going to start off with a little bit of an introduction to this podcast of who we are and what you should hopefully expect to get from these episodes. So why don't we start with you, Nicole?
Sure, yeah. I am Nicole at Champion Taekwondo. Everyone knows me here as Miss S. I have been practicing Taekwondo it's been 30 years now. So I love Taekwondo. I love everything about it. I love the community that we have built here, but along the way I've been introduced to a lot of different people. I've met some really interesting people in my career. I spent a lot of my younger years competing in Taekwondo, so I got to travel a lot for that. And that was lots of great experiences came out of being an athlete and traveling and going through all of those things. And then in the recent years, I've started teaching more and running Champion Taekwondo with Josh, of course. And we've just learned a lot over the years. And we're married. We're not actually married. We have been together for a long time, but we have two young boys, so they are turning 9 and 4 this month. The 9-year-old is well into his own Taekwondo career, and our youngest one, he is just about to start Taekwondo this month, so as a mom, that is super exciting for me to have both our kids now in Taekwondo.
That's pretty cool. So obviously been doing it for a while, and my background is of course very similar. I started as a child. I started at 5 years old. So I mean, a lot of the kids that walk into our door for the very first time who are 5, I was just like them. I was starting out as a young boy and just continued on. I started out with my dad, and now I'm going on to my 30th year in training martial arts, and I've spent almost 15 of those years actually teaching martial arts. I started teaching quite young. My dad had a school. He opened up when I was 15 years old, and I started, assisting with classes. I started teaching here and there on the side, after schools, and then when I was about 19 or 20 is when I started teaching full time, and I've been doing that ever since. And that, honestly, that whole thing of why I ended up teaching could be an entirely different episode altogether. But because we're here to talk to you about what you hope to get out of this and why we started this, I'm not going to get too deep into that. But
I do want to say that how you and I met was on set. So we met filming a Taekwondo explanation or DVD of some sort.
It's an instructional video.
Instructional video. That's what we met. That's how we met, was on set here. And so here we are 10 years later on our own set for a podcast. So I'm excited.
It's funny how it just kind of comes full circle around here, right back to the beginning where it all started. But with the show here, what we hope to do is to be able to help parents. Every night when we're done classes, whether, she has taught a night or I have taught a night, we end up having a lot of conversations. Parents have come to us with struggles with, their kids, or a student has come to us with struggles of what they're going through or experiencing. And what we want to be able to do is just, all of the stuff that we talk about every night, and, the lessons that we, try to give those individuals or those parents, we want to be able to hopefully share with many others, because we know that there's many other parents out there who experience many of the same struggles, many students who experience the same struggles, help many coaches and instructors who go through all of these struggles, but they don't know who to ask, they don't know who to talk to. Maybe they're, afraid to come and talk to people. And we just want to be able to, share some of this stuff here, and hopefully have, the listeners, be able to take some of this and hopefully learn from it and just get better from all of these things that we have to share with you guys. So why don't we get into it? We've introduced who we are. I don't know if we did mention, but we do run Champion Taekwondo. That is here in Lethbridge, Alberta. If you train with us and you're listening, thank you so much for all of your support over the years or over this time, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't live here and you're listening, I encourage you, if you are a Taekwondo practitioner or just a martial artist in general, if you're ever in the Lethbridge area, come on down and visit us at Champion Taekwondo. But on to this podcast. So why did we start it? Clearly, we have some stuff. Is there anything that you kind of wanted to share with that?
Yeah, I think we have seen over the years through teaching martial arts and Taekwondo, we've seen the impact that we make on kids, on adults, on athletes, on coaches. We've seen that this great place has such big impact on the people that we serve. And I think that's where the why comes from to doing this podcast, is that we have more to offer. We have more impact to make. We have bigger and better things that we want to do and share with other people. So this is just going to help us expand our reach. And maybe we can help somebody else out there that's not in our school necessarily, or maybe the parents or other athletes that are out there that just want to tune in and see what we're doing, and hopefully something in these episodes will help you in some way. I think that's our whole goal, is just to expand the impact that we're making.
And that's just it. I mean, you really nail it on the head there with just being able to, expand the impact. I mean, really, that's what our whole goal is. And if you're a martial arts instructor, that's the goal of why a lot of us get into teaching, is to just make an impact on people's lives. That's really what we want to do. And if we can share and make a bigger impact with more lives, that's a win for everybody. So,
and by no means do I think I'm a perfect mom or a perfect parent or a perfect martial artist or a perfect instructor. I just feel like we have learned so much, and there are lots of offerings that we have, whether you're a parent, whether you're a martial artist, whether you're an athlete competing in high-level competitions or smaller competitions, or you're a coach or instructor and want to learn how to be better that way. So just everything that we have to offer, I think, just might be able to help some of you get closer to personal excellence, though I don't think that's ever achievable. But hopefully some of the things that we have to offer will help you get a little bit farther.
That's right. So anyway, why don't we move on from, clearly we understand why we're starting this. Why now? Why haven't we started this earlier? It's certainly been on something on my radar of stuff to do. This is something that I've been wanting to make. In fact, I even shot episodes last year of stuff. I started just recording myself doing certain things, and this is the first one we're actually doing officially. So why now? Why all the years? Why wait till now? And what is the point now for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it was all about fear. Just like I said at the beginning of the podcast here, that I'm nervous. And so that nervousness or the lack of self-confidence, that kept me from doing this. 100%. And all the other like excuses that came, I mean, I could lift off probably quite a few excuses, right? Like, when are we going to find the time to do this? We don't have the right camera. We don't have the right mics. We don't have the right lighting. We don't have the right set. We don't have, who's going to want to listen to me? Who's going to want to listen to us, right? There was all of these fears and excuses that came, but it was all came down to the lack of confidence. And, you know, just in the end, we had to just decide if this was something worth doing. And we had decided that, I think, a long time ago, but let all these excuses get in the way. And then I could just feel like my anxiety or nervousness just increasing, just thinking about doing it. And the only way to get over that is just to, you know, hammer down and take the action, right? Action is the only thing that really is going to alleviate, you know, the wondering what if, you know?
Action,
so now we're here doing it.
Action alleviates anxiety.
Right.
I hear it all the time. So, no, and that's just it. Like, you know, a lot of people, you know, listening, if you're a student, you might be thinking like, they're afraid to do things. Yes, even your instructor who you might go and see every day of the week or a few nights a week, they experience anxiety, they experience stress, they experience doubt. They go through all of those same struggles that you go through. People listening here, you know, your parents go through all of these things. They go through series of doubts, and it's completely normal. And at some point, you just have to decide, are you going to just step off and just do it? And that's kind of why, I guess, why we started now was, again, talking about it for years now of, we need to put this stuff out there, but who's going to listen? Who wants to listen? Why would they listen? You know, what's the point? If nobody's going to listen, even if nobody is listening, you know, somebody somewhere might hear a message, and, you know, if we can help one person with one message, you know, that was all worth it. So as far as waiting for so long, I mean, yeah, we went through all of those same things, the struggles, the doubts, the fears, the anxiety, all of it. And you eventually just have to decide, whatever it is for this case here, the podcast, you just have to step in and do it. You have to take action at some point and decide that now is the time, not tomorrow, because tomorrow will come, and guess what? You'll wait tomorrow. Guess what? Tomorrow will come and you'll put it off another day. So at some point, whatever it is that, you know, maybe you're struggling to do, maybe you're like listening to this and you're like wanting to start in martial arts. Well, I'll start, you know, tomorrow when, you know, it's not as yucky outside. No, you got to start today. You got to take action. And at some point, you know, you just have to stop, move on, and just get started. Take action. So
there's lots of steps and strategies to taking that action, which I imagine will be further episodes of this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's how do we get to that point of taking action? Because there were things that we did in order to start this podcast, right? Like we made it a goal over Christmas time that we were going to start the podcast in 2023. Here we are, January 11th. We did it, right? But there were steps that we took and, you know, broke our goal down into actionable pieces. And so here we are today. So that could be possible, you know, ideas for future podcasts is like, how do we do that? How do we get to the point of taking action?
Absolutely. So we've gotten into why we're starting this and why you're listening, but who is this for? You know, we really want to make sure, I think that was another thing that we kind of started, you know, kind of, well, what do we want to do? Do we want to center this around business? Do we want to center this around coaching? Do we want to center this around, you know, just stories? What was the whole purpose of it? And really when we came down to it, you know, what we hope that you, the listener, and the people who are hopefully going to be tuning into this episode and future episodes is this is going to be for anybody who is a parent, who has a child in martial arts. You know, we want to be able to help you because your child is going to experience moments where they're not going to want to continue martial arts. They're not going to want to continue in the sport that they're in. They're going to want to quit. Well, how do you combat that? How do you push them to keep going? You're going to have your child experience a loss, whether it's at a competition or a belt exam or in sparring in class, not being able to break their board. They're going to experience these failures. And how do you handle those things? How do you, as a parent, still be able to coach them through it and teach them that those things are okay and that they're normal and that they're going to grow from those experiences? So we really hope, one, to be able to help out parents who have a child in martial arts or any sport in general. Maybe we want to be able to help out you, the athletes, you listening, who are either just starting out in martial arts, or maybe you've been in martial arts for years, and you go through the roller coasters yourself of doubt and fear and anxiety. How can we help you be able to push through those things and overcome them? And of course, any coaches or instructors, school owners, you guys teach on the floor. You're hopefully going to be able to hear some of the insight of conversations we have with parents on how we teach classes and how we teach the students and how we get them to grow and learn. And hopefully you guys will be able to gain some experience points from those things that we're going to be able to share with you guys.
Absolutely. And I think as we go along, the topics of the different podcast episodes will appeal to those different groups. So maybe there will be episodes that are more tailored to parents, or maybe ones that are more tailored to students, or ones that are more tailored to competitive athletes, or the ones that are tailored towards coaches. So I'm excited to see, the episodes that we come up with and how these help you. So certainly, if you pick anything out of our episodes, our podcast, let us know, because that is what's going to drive our creativity and coming up with new episodes.
Perfect. Well, first one's out of the way.
We did it!
And you guys listening, you guys now know exactly what to expect, why we've started this, who we are, and what you should hopefully expect from future episodes. And we hope that you continue on and you're going to be able to listen and learn anything that we have to share. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you do want to reach out to us, please comment or email us. We'll leave those in the show notes for you guys to find us and how you guys can contact us. Again, my name is Josh Dumlin, and I'm joined by
Nicole Stratichuk.
And we thank you so much for tuning in to Off the Mat.